So I've just found a good spot just down here where we can set a trap. We've been driving down this road, I've just been looking for something that stands out a little bit on the road, sits out a bit. It's a bit more obvious that a dog might want to walk up and mark. We're using the inside bend of a corner, so a dog's usually going to take that shortest route and go around the inside bend. And so I've just found a nice spot here on that inside with a tree on the inside that hopefully they'll mark up, and we'll set a trap there and see how we go. So when you're setting a trap, it's a good idea to keep your scent to a minimum. You don't want to educate dogs on anything to do with you. You want to not leave any clues. Make yourself as discreet as possible. So I don't even like walking along the road. I'll come in from behind most of the time, and I'll try and set my trap from behind as well, so they're not walking over the top of my scent before they get to your trap set. So just trying to be working from behind. Lots of people use mats and canvas and that sort of thing, and you can do that too. But it's all just about minimising your scent at the trap set. So gloves, I find a must. While you still will catch dogs, if you don't do all these things, you just won't catch as many as you could, that's all. I'm going to cut a hole into the ground just here, just the shape of my trap. Here's a good spot. When you're trapping, you always need a backing, and a backing is just what prevents a dog coming in to smell your lure from the wrong way. So you only want him to come in from one direction. Trees and bushes and that sort of thing are obvious good backings to use. And if I put some lures in along here, I might put some urine up here and a little bit of scent lure down here, another one down here, and get the dog coming in and smelling and walking across this area here where I'm going to put my trap. When you cut your hole, you want to minimise the amount of area that you're disturbing. The whole idea when you set a trap is to, well, when you walk away, it should look like how it was before you got there. And I use a sieve like this, which helps you contain your dirt and catch it and filter it through back later into the trap, which you'll see. With your trap, it's always a good idea to dig a little funnel underneath with your hole, because with your trap, you've got this piece here which hangs down and will sit nicely in that hole underneath to stop it from not being able to sit smoothly underneath. So always good to cut yourself a little hole in there. Now I just test that my hole is a good size. Get my trap set. So I just want to talk a little about the pan tension of a trap. And your pan tension is how much pressure it takes to set a trap off. To trap a dingo, you don't need to set your trap really light like a mouse trap or right on the edge. You want to have plenty of pan tension in it, so the dog is putting plenty of its weight down before the trap goes off. You want him to walk in, you're leaning forward on his leg as he's coming in to smell, and the trap doesn't go off until he's got a fair bit of weight on that front foot, and then bang, it goes off and he can't pull up. And so when you catch them, their foot will still be on the pan. And that's when you know they're using enough pan tension. If it's too light, if he's walking into the set and he's only just starting to go forward onto that front foot and it goes off, they can pull back in time and you'll miss out on catching them. You'll get a toe catch or just brush the tip of their toes as they're pulling through. So you want them to come in, lean right in, and then bang, it goes off. So setting your pan tension is just a matter of adjusting this bolt on a WTS trap. They usually come with enough tension already in them, but you can tighten it up or loosen it off. And for a dog, you're looking at about 2 kilos to 4 kilos is what a lot of people use as their pressure on the plate. And you don't want a lot of downward movement in your plate. You want it to have a lot of tension, but you don't want a lot of downward movement. So when I set a WTS trap, I set it till it clicks in, And then I just bring it forward a little bit because I don't want all that play in the trap. I want it ready near the edge so there's hardly any movement in it before it goes off. When you pick your trap up, always pick them up by the underneath, never pick them up by the side levers. Now I've got my trap positioned in a little bit of an angle there. That doesn't matter too much, it's just how I like them. A lot of people will like the trap sitting out to the front like that, or the other way around even. That's your personal preference, whatever you want to use. Also with your chain, some people will stake their traps directly under the trap. You can put some stakes in under there. Myself, I like to cut a little trail out the back of the set. And I'll put my stakes in a bit further back. These double stake rings are a great idea, so you can put 2 stakes through your trap. And we want to put these in crossed over like that. Once they're in, there's no way that trap can come out. Now underneath my trap pan, I'm going to use a pan packer. And that just is going to stop the dirt going underneath my pan. It's just a piece of foam cut to the right size. The trap I'm using here is a WTS number 3, one of our own Western Trapping brand traps. It'll be one of our most popular traps. Okay, now the most important part of setting a trap is the bedding of the trap, making sure that it doesn't wobble in the ground. So if a dog walks up and stands on it, you don't want any of that wobble at all. He'll feel that under his foot. So we've got to bed the trap in the ground so there's none of that. It just involves putting some dirt in there. Things like this jaw is up pretty high. I could get some bit of bark and fill that in under there to make that a bit more firm. That'll help just firm up that jaw. It's taken that wobble out there. Any of these levers, anything that the dog could stand on and make it wobble. Because you want him to walk all over that spot there. He mightn't hit his target area straight up. So to take that little bit of wobble out even more, we're going to pack this trap in. That involves putting your hand on the trap, on the both jaws. Just putting your hand across it, like that. And when your hand's on there, you can afford to pack in around it like this. If it goes off, this hand's going to stop it from grabbing my other hand. And you're also applying pressure, which just helps pack it in a bit better. Stops it jumping back out of the ground when you're packing. Now this takes time, but this is what will get you more dogs. If there's wobble in your pan when your trap goes off, the dog starts pulling back before the trap goes off, and that's how you end up with toe catches or no dog at all in the trap. So you want to take out any of that wobble. That's nice and firm in there now. The dog could walk all over that and you won't have any idea. I'm using a little brush just to dress it up a bit. Okay, so now comes our blending. Just want to leave a couple of jaws sticking out so I can see where my trap is. I get an idea of where the pan is. That's our target area here on the end of the pan. We really want them to walk right here. So now it's just about trying to blend this set in a little bit more. It's quite obvious there with all the fresh dirt and that sort of thing around. So we're probably going to want to find some nice light sand from around the place that looks just like this other sand running through here. So now what we'll do, we'll try and get a bit of this look happening. A few, just blend it in and make it typical with everything else around. So we'll grab some of these leaves off the box tree here and we'll get a bit of that look happening as well. So when you're doing this, the most important part is not to get big hunks of bark stuck down between the jaws of the trap where they could prevent the trap from going off. So you just want to make sure that anything you've got, so our trap is just here, is our target area. You just want to make sure you haven't got any big sticks just inside that target area. So we don't want the dog to think about where he's standing. We just want to make it pretty much a nice, the most nice spot for the dog to stand is right where our pan is. Now there's no leaves or sticks that are going to hurt his foot over here. So you just want to make it nice and natural for him that he's automatically going to want to stand in that area where the pan is. I'd put a lure in here, a bit of urine over the top here, and I'd probably even put a bit of a hole down in here with a bit of lure on cotton wool or something like that down in there. Just so he's walking right across the front of this set here, getting all the smells that he can, walking across here, making sure that he's going to put his foot where our trap is.